I think this is fake.
You can't say that.
I can say that.
Wrestling's not fake!
It's still real to me, damn it.
The unscripted, uncensored, loose cannon of commentary. This ain't WCW. This ain't Monday Night Raw. This ain't SmackDown. This ain't even WWE.
Do I have everybody's attention now?
The recognized symbol of excellence in sports entertainment.
You're listening to Marks on Commentary.
Welcome to Marks on Commentary. I'm Jason Smith.
Oh, I'm the other guy, Sean.
Other guy, Sean. We are in the shadow of post-WrestleMania. Start off, what did you overall think of WrestleMania 35?
This is weird. I gotta let me just get it out of the way. I'm gonna try and talk closer to the microphone this time, because unlike last time, my voice was pretty low. So hopefully, I'm not too close to the microphone.
Take it out of the handle of that.
Oh yeah, that might help. That may make me a little comfortable. There we go. Hopefully, I don't turn it off. Check. Yeah. No, I liked it. For the most part, I liked it. I mean, granted, the 7.5 from like pre-show to kickoff or whatever, and then into the show. Yeah. It was long, but I mean, I liked it for the most part. Some matches though, was just like, okay, time to go take a little break.
Which is usually the flow of the show. I think there was more good than there was bad of this, and compared to past WrestleManias. So,
I will say though, like by the time like Samoa Joe's match rolled around, I'm like, okay,
yeah,
let's get this done with. And then the women's championship match, which was supposed to, be a defining moment for the first women's main event. I'm just like, they're really not. They're like ruining the point they're trying to prove. I'm like, sure, it's great, women in the main event, but with that match,
we'll get there.
We'll
get there.
It kind of sullied the whole first time ever. This is great.
But I mean, as I mentioned last week, I attended the show. For me, my day started at 9 o'clock. I hit the road. We stayed in Paramus, New Jersey.
I don't know.
It's a weird town. We'll get there.
Jersey is weird. But to all our Jersey listeners, if there are any,
probably not.
I love you.
I'll be lucky to get 4 people to listen to this. 2 of the listeners will be Eddie. No, we rolled into town around 1:30, which was surprisingly decent in terms of my head, like where I thought, what time I thought we'd get there. We got to the hotel. My wife was exhausted. I told her to take a nap. I went down the street and got lunch. I got Shake Shack. I don't know if you ever had Shake Shack.
I've heard of it. I've heard it's great.
It's okay. It wasn't bad. Wasn't great. I was expecting like mouth orgasm, I guess.
Oh, Jesus. That'd be weird. Walk in. Excuse me. I'd like your finest mouth orgasm, please. What? You're not from around here, are you? I was told, well, there is a guy working out back.
Paramus is a weird town. I've never seen this before. All the retail stores, so like Target and everything like that, closed.
Really?
Yeah, nothing was open. Because I had a printed out version of my ticket. It was on like black and white paper. I'm like, just in my head, like insecurities of like something's gonna fuck up. I was like, I should stop and get another ticket. And Staples does this like email to print thing for their printing units and everything. I used that before. I was like, oh, quick! I saw one. I was like, I'm gonna turn around quick right there. Closed. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Huh.
And as you see on the table here, I've started a small collection of retro figures.
Yeah.
I know that Five Below has had them, and I was like, oh shit! I saw a Five Below. I'm gonna go in that part. And it was closed, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it's I started telling my, I'm like, is it something for Mania? Like, is it some local ordinance where they're like, to get Mania you have to close down every? I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, I found out it's this weird like method to control like traffic and everything like that on weekends.
Yeah.
I guess the residents hate it there. Which I would too. Like,
bet,
you can't go to Target on a Sunday.
Yeah.
That cuts down on like.
That's like
second to.
That's like
something fell out.
That's like Chick-fil-A on Sundays.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get into that. I've only had Chick-fil-A once, and it tasted like homophobia and religion.
What's the fucking unforgivable?
Oh yeah. Make me a chicken sandwich.
It's waffle fries. Unforgivable.
For Mania, I was really happy that Kofi won.
Yeah.
And I was very proud that they finally smartened up and were like, let's give it to him. But the one thing that happened during Mania that was the defining, play into the name of this podcast, Mark. I marked out like son of a bitch for the Doctor of Thugonomics.
Oh.
I was never really that huge of a John Cena fan. Granted, when you and I were younger, we went to that car show and we met John Cena around the time of.
Oh, that was middle. That was U.S. He was U.S. champ at the time.
Oh yeah, that's right.
With Spinner, U.S. champ.
Yeah, but I at the time it was like, oh yeah, John Cena, Boston boy, when we met him.
Yeah.
And I've never really been a huge fan of him, but I think that was literally the first time I got excited to see John Cena because it was I right when his music hit, like I turned to Eddie, for Mania, I was at his house watching WrestleMania and all that while you were there. The moment that his Thugonomics theme played, I just turned and looked at him, and I'm like all wide-eyed. And then I see him come out with the damn hat and the sports jersey or whatever on, and the chain and the pump-up shoes, and I fucking jump up from the couch. I'm like, oh my God! And of course, even though it was just a one-off, even just hearing John Cena say the words, I'm turning heel, no word of a lie, I grabbed Eddie by his fucking hoodie. I'm like, oh my God, this is finally happening. But, and him actually giving the FU instead of the attitude adjustment, I was like, what the shit?
That's fun.
He pumped up his damn shoes.
Yeah. That was...
See,
my wife next to me, same reaction. She's like, I like John Cena better this way. I'm like, yeah, so do a lot of the audience.
Yeah, the fact that they finally, even for just one moment, gave people our age something for once. Because I mean, sure, before they're like, oh, let's bring back Stone Cold for a thing. Let's bring back The Rock for a thing. I'm like, yeah, sure. We were, kids of the Attitude Era, but when that was in full swing, we were really young. So, like, when we were teenagers, that's when the whole John Cena as Doctor of Thugonomics and all that stuff. For us, that was, like, when we were teens.
Yeah.
Well.
That was high school.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's true. But I think, because even I was still hoping for, if they're bringing John Cena back as this, maybe Undertaker, when he interrupts somebody, he'll come back as American Badass. And then he wasn't on Mania. So I was like, okay, I have to get used to this. But then he showed up on Raw, and I was really hoping that's when they would have done an American Badass thing. I don't care what anyone says. Okay, when the American Badass thing first happened, I hated it. Mm-hmm. Like, I couldn't stand it. But being older, I think I told you this before in person, that's like the one thing on the network, Undertaker era-wise, that I revisit more. I mean, yeah, it's cool to go back to early 90s and then really go back to... like later 90s stuff around like King of the Ring time, or even like WrestleMania 13 when he won the belt, all that stuff, and then his long feud with Kane, which I still that's great. But I've revisited more badass stuff, especially when he turned heel as American Badass. You think you're better than me? And shoved JR's face in McMahon's butt, and his feud with Ric Flair has that and all that. And his feud with Hogan, where Hogan couldn't get the motorcycle to start.
They got dragged backstage,
Yeah. But, whatever. Then he showed up with his weird, like, emphasis. He put a lot of emphasis on his receding hairline with what he did. Like, he kept his long hair, but then he, like, shaved the sides. It's like, what are you doing? I mean, you look great. You're in great shape. Finally got those new knees and hips. And, like, your wife's making you eat well. But come back as American Badass.
Yeah, I'll take it as a one-off.
I tell you. Give him
I still even want fucking Purple Gloves Taker to come back as a one-off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe you just turn his little, like, fighting gloves purple. It's like, hey.
I'm cool with that.
But, I don't know. But other than that, I mean, WrestleMania was all right.
Yeah, I enjoyed the Raw Tag Title match with Rioter and Hawkins and the Revival.
It was about time.
I probably was like one of the only people in the audience that was generally excited when that started.
Mm-hmm. And then I know they're not listening, but creative at WWE must have been listening to me and been like, let's not make that Shawn guy right. Let's have them actually, retain it the next night. And I'm like, oh, you sons of bitches. But no, it was good that they actually kept the belts on them. But
I'm hopeful to see where it goes.
Yeah, but as for keeping belts on people, let's get this situation out of the way.
What could you be talking about?
This whole Sasha Banks Bailey situation. Now, WWE has kind of smartened up with certain things, so maybe they're like tapping into the whole dirt sheet readers and internet, gossip mongers of the wrestling world. It could be that, but at the same time, too. Look, I can look at it from both sides. Sasha's upset. I get it. Mm-hmm. But if reports are true with how she's reacting to it, knock it off. Quit being a little brat. You're like close to our age, and you're acting like you're still in high school.
Yeah, it's a strange situation, and part of it, trying to look at it objectively, I'm trying to ask myself, is this different from CM Punk? I don't know how you feel, because there's both sides of it, but I also feel like she has a reputation of being a little conceited. Yeah,
from things that have been reported, it sounds like when things aren't 100% her way, she throws a temper tantrum. But at the same time, there's so many like variables you could look at this. Could they be really smart and doing like an internet thing just to get people talking?
Maybe.
Could it be... Where the hell was I going with that? I can see it from her perspective in a way, too, of I have all the stuff that I know that I can do or that I want to do to show you, to prove, that I can do this. And if I'm not able to do that, I'm unhappy. I get that. If you're going to threaten to leave, then fucking leave. Because if this could go for people in the wrestling world or, people in general. If where you're working you're not happy, don't stay there because you're just going to continue to be unhappy. True. But to throw in the whole, well, I'm unhappy, so I'm going to cause a scene and say all these things online and just be like, if it's her way of saying, I'm unhappy, here's some attention-giving stuff, give me the attention I want, but also give me what I want, knock it off. But also, where the hell was I going to go with that? I just had another backup thing, too. I can... shit, you go while I try and remember what I was going to say.
My view on it, too, is the whole, like, locker room crying on the floor and everything like that. I kind of feel like it's true. Trying to look at it objectively, because when something like this happens, what's the first thing that happens? Somebody else of note in the locker room will come out online and be like, don't believe everything you're reading online. Mm-hmm. Somebody like a Natalia, somebody with some stature in the company.
Yep.
Nobody's done that.
Yeah.
Nobody's come out and say, don't buy that shit,
Yeah.
Rusev.
Yeah, Rusev. Yeah, Rusev.
That's what he does.
Yeah,
great.
He said something about it, and then... I don't know.
Becky said something about fight meat, which isn't a denial of what she had, Sasha. Yeah. And you know what? The other thing I wanted to say is Bayley in this. Like, Bayley is supposedly guilty. And to me, that's surprising because she doesn't seem like she has this type of reputation.
Yeah.
And I almost wonder if Sasha is the bad friend that gets you in trouble to do, goat you into doing something that you know is wrong.
Yeah.
But still gets you in trouble.
Just... Like, I know... here's what I was going to go with. She'll go on these tangents about how I should be this, I should be doing this, I know I can do this, blah, 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 blah. And I get it, where she's coming from in a sense of, I'm not happy, I'm kind of being dicked around. Because if you look at her track record of, the things she has done with the company, which have been great, the only reason why I can understand her, being upset is... She's had all these opportunities. She's held championships. Yeah. She's done this, but then they quickly take it away. And they're like playing hot potato with her character and who she's like working with, this, that, the other thing, especially with the women's championships, or the women's tag team championships, I should say. Like, that was supposed to be a big deal. And then they take it away. And don't get me wrong. I mean, would it have been great if they held them longer? Sure. But at the end of the day, when who the hell won that shit?
The Iconics, or
is it Iconic? I always end up accidentally saying is it Ilconics?
No,
is it Iconics?
It's Iconics.
Okay, I'm dumb. But when they won it, I was like, cool, awesome. Give
made another tag team.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, that's partly how I view going into WrestleMania. You come in, you can make two people at WrestleMania. The champ coming in, looking strong, and you're always going to have that moment of, I was the champion walking in, and then somebody coming out. And in a time where there really isn't that many tag teams, I think putting it on them helps make the Iconics. You know,
but also with her argument of, you know, I should be doing this, or I should be at this level, or whatever. And I get it. They've dicked her around. They've given her all these shots and these chances and all this stuff. And she's proven herself. But at the same time, just her attitude has just been ruining it.
yeah.
But it's like, you can say this stuff till you're red in the face. But there are so many others that we as fans or whatever have what it takes. And they're never, ever given a shot. So for her to be there pulling this internet crap, and she's had these shots. Granted, they've been pulled away from her and all that, but shut up. There's so many other people that would love to be in your position.
And she's not in a bad position in the company. She's on the show every week. There's plenty of people that like are ignored, top to bottom. Asuka didn't even make the main card, and Asuka's a phenomenal worker.
Yeah, she's phenomenal, and they've dicked her around too. Sometimes when like I don't even know that she's like gone for a while, I'm like, oh yeah, you had that belt, doggy. That's our special guest Barker.
Let me go see if I can keep talking. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, but no, with Asuka and people like that of the sort, it seems like they'll have a strong footing for a while, but then fans will really get behind them, and then it's pulled away.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, let's just start over with a new thing. Let's do this with them. Let's do that. So they're never able, they start to gain traction, and then all of a sudden, like, their brakes are cut, and they can't keep going. And then they're stuck, and then they get upset. It's like, oh, you want to leave? Here's a belt. Okay, here's some more money. Yeah. Okay, you got what you wanted? Okay, now we're going to take it all away. It'd be like, I read a comment about the whole situation the other day, and somebody made a good point. Imagine if at your job you were working for years, busting your ass, learning the ins and outs, and working your way up the ladder, and you got like this really nice promotion, and you're like, oh, this is great, and you're like riding it out for like a couple weeks to a month, and then they take it away. So you got to bust your ass again. They give you another one, but then they take it away. So I can see it from that perspective, but, and maybe it's just the day and age we live in or whatever. Leave not to be a random cheese ball or whatever. Save the drama for your mama. Keep that shit off the internet. Yeah. I mean,
if you want to leave, great. Leave on as best terms as you can. Maybe you put the company in a crappy position. Yeah. But stomping around the locker room and crying, that's not the way to do it.
And then, I'm going to unfollow Vince and WWE on Twitter. Ooh, woo, whoop-de-doo. And then I'm going to follow AEW. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Everybody. Look what I did, you guys. Do you think they noticed what I'm doing? Am I getting their attention? Shut up. Hi, dog.
Look, if it's... Do I live in a world where I think that the only communication between somebody is a Twitter account? Like, it's fucking wrestling. You could have a phone number or anything. Somebody could get to Cody if you really wanted to talk to him, which he's probably not talking. That's contract tampering, as I've heard in the past from Bruce Pritchard. You're not allowed to do that. Yeah. So even if you want to talk to Cody, you're not. No. Wait till your 90 days is up and then go from there. But it's just, I don't know. And I don't know why I feel like there's a difference between her and how the Revival and CM Punk did. Maybe it's because I just generally, I've never been a Sasha guy.
Yeah, I mean, I liked her at first.
Yeah, there were elements, but then you hear all the attitude problems and stuff like that, and I don't know. And granted, CM Punk's no angel. Like he was, full of like, I didn't want to do autographs or whatever. And so I'm trying to make sure that there is a distinction.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's a more juvenile sense to how Sasha's going about it versus how Punk went about it. He was just like, I'm fucking unhappy and I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Whereas it's hers, I'm stomping my feet and I don't want to lose these tag titles. I mean,
It's like she's got like this Veruca Salt mentality. I want to push and I want it now.
So maybe they are realizing like, hey, we need to be more aggressive in how we promote our matches and stuff like that. More realistic approach. Maybe this is all a work. I could be wrong. She could show up on Monday and punch Becky in the face. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be a work, could be a shoot. Who knows? Yeah, part of me wants to be like Bruce Pritchard's, like, I got you, bitches. But then it's like, if it isn't like part of the product, it's like, come on.
If it isn't part of the product, it's a lot worse because it's
yeah.
That's how I
I guess we could segue into something else. Did you end up watching any of that Dark Side of the Ring?
I watched the Bruiser Brody one.
So you watched the Bruiser Brody one?
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to, because I watched the Macho Man one on the Viceland app on Roku. And no, we are not supported by Vice or Roku, but
I'll take it if they want to.
yeah, if you want to sponsor something, that's a different podcast. I was about to say the name of. If you want to, endorse Marks on Commentary, go right ahead. Vice, follow us on Twitter,
Do it,
please. But no, I watched the Bruiser Brody one because they put up the full episode on their YouTube, and that was really, really good. Like I've heard the story of it. But to hear,
I didn't know the intricacies of it. Like,
and to hear,
I knew Carlos Colon had a dirty hand in it, but I didn't know to what extent.
And then
exactly
hearing more from the people that were actually like there when it happened. Tony Atlas, you're the man.
Yeah, you know what? Tony probably comes out looking the best in terms of his like reputation in the business. A lot of people thought of him as a goof, and his whole foot fetish thing that he's had. Whatever, suit your own. But I've always kind of like been like, whatever, that guy. But now I'm kind of like, all right,
he's a good guy.
And
you got Dutch Mantel.
Yeah,
his whole experience with that whole thing or whatever, and to know that Carlos Colon, he played a hand in that. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
And the fact that, Hall of Famer,
it's weird.
It's a weird situation. And the Macho Man episode was really good. It just kind of sucked remembering that both of them are gone.
Yeah.
And then when they actually covered the whole... you didn't see that one, did you?
Yet,
okay.
No.
They covered the whole Miss Elizabeth's passing and all that, and they actually had Eric Bischoff in the episode talking about how he really did not like Lex for a long time and had resentment towards him for what had happened. And he had actually had him on his podcast at one point. And Lex was literally 100% open, honest, telling him what happened, how he felt about the whole situation, and he said he ended up actually like believing him and respecting him and all that stuff. And they didn't really cover anything that we don't know already in terms of Macho Man and Elizabeth's life. But it was good to hear from people in the business talk about it. And, Bruce Pritchard was like the main talking point because, sometimes Bruce won't shut up. But sometimes he doesn't say anything and, he gets yelled at. It would be interesting if he said something. And this upcoming episode is on the Montreal Screwjob.
Which I'm curious, but at the same time, I've heard this story 50,000 times over and over.
So I'm wondering if they're going to say something we haven't heard, or if they're just going to say stuff we've already heard, but just...
I've listened to numerous shoot interviews, everything I can possibly get my hands on, so I don't really know what else could be out there, but you never know.
I mean, we've heard Brett's side of it so many times. The one that I want to hear more in-depth from is Shawn Michaels. Yeah. I mean, we've heard him say his stuff here and there that, basically covers the basics of it. And I'd like to hear his full-blown 100% thing.
I wonder if he's on it.
I did see, the full-blown trailer for the series itself. There was something of him being interviewed.
I would listen because I don't think he's ever been on record.
I don't think he has. Maybe he has. I'm not sure, but I think there was like a 1 to 2 second snippet of him saying like this is still hard to talk about. And then of course we're gonna get we're gonna get Jim Cornette talking about it and all that. But
I mean, I going back to the Macho Man one. I guess Hogan was critical of the filmmakers not being accurate or whatever.
Oh.
And the only thing
is it because he wasn't interviewed and his ex-wife was?
Maybe. But the only thing I can think of is that maybe they should have went to Hogan's former bandmates in Metallica and asked them for their opinion on it, because truth matters here.
Wait, what? Hold on.
Oh, you've never heard this story before?
No, I was like, wait, what? Hogan, Metallica? What are you talking about?
Hogan supposedly was going to be a Metallica. He's been on record to say that he was going to be a member of Metallica.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I am not. Look up this. He has been on record to say that he was once friends with like Lars Anders, or was it Sullivan? I'm not.
Lars Lars. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Lars Ulrich or Ulrich. Ulrich, the one that tried to take down Napster like an asshole.
I think he said he was friends with them. So
really?
It's one of those Hoganisms. Like,
oh, okay.
Like how he tore all the muscles in his arms lifting Andre at Mania 3 or something like that. All these like...
Or like Al Gore saying, I invented the internet. Okay.
Weird things. Like, I feel like, what was it, NoDQ.com had like a running list of like shit Hogan's claimed over the years.
Jesus Christ.
So, Hogan's facts are a little suspect.
That should be like a book. I want somebody out there to make a Hogan facts. Or, Hulk Hogan for dummies.
Hulk Hogan has a 10-inch penis, whereas Terry Bollea has micro dick.
Jesus.
I think what else?
Oh, the Raw after Mania. I don't remember a goddamn thing except for that weird Bray Wyatt puppet.
Bray Wyatt puppet, the Lars Sullivan.
I guess he got his anxiety in check.
That's great. Which I was like, fuck, I would have rather seen this match at Mania, the Kurt Angle, Lars Sullivan match. Like, that would have been way more entertaining. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
But I couldn't.
Yeah, it was a kind of a letdown.
The only things that stand out in my mind were Alexa basically handing Bayley's ass over to her.
I took it the other way, is Bayley rattling around Alexa. Like, there was a lot of, like, headshots to Alexa, and she's coming back from a concussion.
Yeah.
That's a little weird. In light of everything that happened at Mania, I'm like, why the fuck didn't Alexa just stomp on her?
Yeah. And then, obviously, the not very well thought out swerve of the main event. Yeah. It's like, no, don't do that. You're like just promising.
Sell us on what you want the main event to be.
Don't sell us on something that's going to be amazing and then take it away and give us such a shitty match.
Easily, you could have set that up at the start of the show. Is have both champs like teasing it, and we don't say, "Hey, we're going to have this awesome main event." You just have Sheamus and Cesaro like attack them. Like you could have sold it. Okay, that's the main event. Fine.
Yeah.
Champion and champion against the Bar.
And for the Raw after Mania, don't do that.
No.
Because when you promise something so great the night after WrestleMania, on the Raw after Mania, which is known to have like all sorts of like awesome stuff happen, don't take that away.
Or give that match, but don't have a finish, and surprise, NXT call up.
Yeah.
Like, great. Like, I think everybody in the crowd would have accepted that.
Yeah.
But it was just this weird bait and switch.
Yeah. So. And I didn't watch SmackDown because I was at work, so I have no idea what happened. And usually I look up what happened, but I was just like, well, I'm not hearing anything. Did anything?
A lot of, like, tag matches. It wasn't anything special. They teased Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman feud. That was kind of the main thing.
And I know the whole championship celebration thing, but I just know it was a thing that was going to happen. I didn't bother to look it up. I don't know. I think it was because I think with how Mania was and how Raw was, I'm like, okay.
It turned into New Day versus the Bar and Drew McIntyre.
Oh. And now Big E's out with an injury.
Yeah. Which might be a good thing for him in the short term. I kind of would like to see Xavier on 205 Live. I think that would be a fun place to just stick him right now. because he's going to get overshadowed by Kofi.
Yeah.
Whereas if he goes to 205 Live, he's almost got the whole show unto himself to... I don't know. That's just how I think we should be using him right now.
Yeah. Well, or he's just going to get relegated to his video game show. Well, who knows?
Marking out to Batista's theme.
Yeah.
That was a great video.
So, yeah, now that you mentioned Batista, it actually, you reminded me he had a match at Mania. It was all right.
Yeah, it was fine. I think he even himself said he was a little ill-prepared for it.
The thing that was kind of funny was these moments where you would think he would be selling it. Not really.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I get it. You know, fucking sledgehammer to the head, huh? But, like, the whole jumping off the stairs in the ring to smash you in the head with a sledgehammer and you just wobble around a bit. It's like, dude, it's a sledgehammer. Sell the damn thing. Although that overhead shot of Triple H when he was like bringing the things to his nose ring and all that, I was dying laughing. There was just so many weird moments during that match.
Just too long of a match for that show, especially at that time.
Yeah.
Fucking 7 hours of a show.
Well, Triple H has got to get his elaborate entrance in and have a longer than need be match.
It was just a bit much. I don't know.
So why don't you tell the audience about your lovely new collection you're going to start doing?
WWE Retros, the little retro action figures. I don't know.
Have you posted this to Twitter yet?
Yes. The Finn and AJ figure, and then I got the ring. Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is a handful of figures I want. I know Eddie's a big figure collecting guy. I'm not going to go to his levels of craziness, but... and the cool thing is I can mix it with, like, the classic Hasbros.
Yeah.
Because they're on scale pretty much to these. You know, this is... I've been listening to the Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins podcast where they talk about wrestling figures, and I got that little itch to start collecting a couple. And I'm not going nuts, but...
I think, I think it was a couple... I don't remember how long ago it was that I came over when you were telling me about the figures collecting and getting back into like the old retro ones. That Ripped and Ruthless 2 Kane figure was the only time I was like, what's the one wrestling figure that I used to have that I really dug and kind of want to get it again? Because I remember, I forget where I think it was just on the box art for another figure I had at the time as a kid, and they were advertising those ones. I remember going to Toys R Us just about every weekend to try and find it, and because they used to have a shit ton of those. They had I forget what the title of them were. There were other ones where it was, maybe it was just Ripped and Ruthless 1, I don't know, but there was like Stone Cold, Andre the Giant, Goldust, Mankind, and The Undertaker. They had those ones. They had a lot of those. And then when Ripped and Ruthless 2 came out, they had Kane, Shawn Michaels, Sable.
Yep.
I think they had one more. I don't remember.
Vader or something? I feel like I know what you're talking about. I'm just trying to visualize the...
I'm having a hard time remembering.
Triple H one?
It may have been Triple H.
Okay.
But they had like a whole slew of them.
Yeah.
You know, Toys R Us. When it was around, when we were kids, it was awesome. But like their WWF section at the time was huge. It was literally just this long ass aisle of wrestling figures, and they had an entire shelf, not just a little section, but an entire like row from start to finish of their like special like statue figures, like those ones. And I remember having to like, it's kind of like what I do with like vinyl record hunting now, just kind of grab it, tip it forward, grab it, tip it forward. And I had to do that with those because you can kind of see what figure it was, like through the top, like WWF logo and all that stuff. And I kept looking for like long, like black hair or whatever. And when I thought I found it, nope, it's HBK. And just keep looking and looking and looking. And I remember in a sea of all those figures, there was one Kane. And I'm like, oh my God. And of course, you know, being a kid.
It's gotta be Kane.
Yeah. My mom bought it for me, and it was the one where you could take his mask off,
cool.
and you can kind of see, like, oh, so this is why he has a bad eye. There's this thing on the side of his the right side of his face. And that was like, I think the reason why that was the only figure that I decided to check eBay for, and I found it. Still in the package, still with the original, like, taped shut and all that stuff. It still has the collectible card, all that, still with the plastic to hold the figure in place. Mm-hmm. I think the only reason why that's the only wrestling figure I decided to be like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to get that, was because of the memory of trying to hunt down that one figure. Before it was easy. You could just go to KB Toys and get, like, the fucking action figures that you could, crack their legs. It sounds like their bones are breaking, or any of the weird-ass, wicked rubbery ones. And a 2-pack of so-and-so with so-and-so. Doesn't make sense, but I'll buy it. And the Titantron entrance figures, and Vince McMahon did not look like Vince McMahon. He looked like Al Pacino, if anything. But have there been times where I've been scrolling through eBay and I'm like, what other figures did I really like? But then I see them and it's like $90 out of package. I'm like, what are you doing?
No. I'm not a completionist. I'm not gonna go and get. I already told you. Like, I'm not getting every retro figure. I don't need it. I'm gonna go after the ones of the guys that I enjoy watching. Like, and I like. I told you I don't need a Sheamus figure. I don't. There's a lot of shitty figures out there where I'm like, I don't need a Randy Orton figure. I don't.
Yeah, and the same thing with, like, wrestling shirts. Right now I only have 2, and the only time I bought them was for Manias. Like, I got the CM Punk shirt and the Dude Love shirt. But you talked to me in middle school, it was a different wrestling shirt every day.
Yeah. I think I have all my middle school ones still.
But then, of course, once high school hit, it's like, I'm going to wear horror movie shirts every day. I'm going to change it up a bit, you guys. But there's probably more, like, vintage. Yeah. To call it vintage now is so weird, because it just feels like yesterday we were collecting all this shit. There might be more out there that I'd like.
Just collect the shit you like. That's how I just look at it. I'm like, I don't need everything. It's crazy trying to get everything. Go after just the shit you like.
Yeah. Well, like, for you, like, you're collecting all the wrestling stuff and all that, and you have all your other movie stuff, like Back to the Future and all that stuff. But, like, I've been, like, collecting, like, the horror movie related anything for years. So I think that's why, like, whenever I think about trying to find rare vintage stuff, it goes more towards, like you were saying, what I like, which is just the horror movie stuff. But then when I come across something wrestling related, I'm like, oh yeah, I really want that. But do I? But then at the same time, it's like, well, I'll think about it, and then it's gone.
Just a cool shelf of miscellaneous wrestling shit. I have one where it's just like random shit. I have a fucking slam cam on my shelf.
Yeah.
Just because it's stupid and awesome, but at the same time, am I ever going to use it again? No, but
you just put your face on, like, Stone Cold's body or whatever. It's like, oh, look at this. This is cool. Computer stuff. That was what we had back in the day. Simple times. So.
Yeah. Oh, no.
So I'll probably post a picture of it on the Twitter to kind of tease the inevitable when this is posted. By this time you're listening to it, it's been posted, so how else would you be listening to it? Yes, you may want to get a drink ready, depending. So I decided, because I had asked you ahead of time, how well do you do with spicy food? And you dabble in it. I love spicy food. I decided to get you to try, I believe it's pronounced Paki or whatever.
Paqui.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of it. Yeah. I took Spanish and failed, so.
And so did I. But either way, I wanted
ghost pepper.
Haunted ghost pepper tortilla chip. Let's see. Light, crispy, and freaking hot. Witness the haunted ghost pepper, the scariest of them all. These chips will terrify your taste buds. Ours are still hiding under the bed. Oh boy. And just for shits and giggles, there are no artificial ingredients, no artificial flavors, no preservatives, and it's gluten-free. Oh man. No, dog, you do not want one of these.
For my doggo.
And there's actually a warning.
Oh shit.
The contents of this bag are extremely frightening. Pocky is not responsible for any injuries that may result from ingesting this delicious terror. The use of gloves and safety goggles is encouraged. I don't know why. Well, yeah, whatever you do, if you eat one of these, don't rub your eyes or take a piss after. Okay. Common side effects include addiction to burning pain. Hell yeah. Blurred vision and unquenchable thirst. Enjoy with caution and consider yourself warned. And it literally, I'm not going to read the nutrition facts because I don't give a shit. And it's frighteningly from Austin, Texas.
You've had these.
I have.
Okay.
And I ate a whole bag of them when I had a stuffy nose, and it cleared me up real quick. So I'm going to put this microphone down to open the bag.
Put it in the little holster there.
I'll put it in the holster.
There you are.
Okay.
Are you having one with me? Or?
Yeah, I'll have one. Yeah, I'll have one because I like them.
No, buddy.
No, dog, you do not want these.
I'll give you a treat later, not this.
See, they don't
smell.
They don't smell. Okay. So,
just give me a chip.
So here is your singular chip.
Okay.
I have my singular chip. And get this microphone back. All right. Dog, no. All right. Well, here's to you. Hope you don't have like a crazy reaction to it. All right. Ooh. They're good. I just realized I have the microphone too close, and you can probably hear me chewing the whole time.
I can feel it. Mm-hmm. No, that wasn't what I thought it would be, but I can still feel it.
Yeah, I was gonna wait.
No, I know. It's hanging with me. I can feel it.
Mm-hmm. What, dog? You do not want a chip, especially not this.
Now, from past, does it stay in the mouth area, or does it does the heat come to your stomach?
Well, because I'm an idiot, I had like a huge bag and I just laid there and ate them. Let's just say if you did what I did and sat there and just ate the whole bag, you'll become best friends with your toilet the next morning.
Okay.
But yeah, it'll literally just, the hotness will stay on the sides and on your tongue for a while.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I can do it. I'll have another.
Fucking go for it.
I don't know how many I'm going to have, but I'll try another.
But yeah, don't rub your eyes. Nope. There's another, the same company puts out a chip where they literally just sell one singular chip.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen
coffin box?
Yeah, in that little coffin box. I've seen people do that. I'm tempted to do it, but seeing people like pour jugs of milk over their face, I'm like, Jesus, is it really that hot?
Wasn't terrible, but
whew. Your AJ Styles figure is looking at me.
Hi, Sean.
Get some new theme music, AJ Styles.
You don't want none?
Come on, dog. Trust me, you don't want any of those chips. They're not for doggies.
You don't want none.
You don't want blah, blah, blah.
Maybe this will become a recurring thing of trying some weird food. Mm-hmm. And letting my dog yell at me while we're... Anything else on the talking agenda? I think what else happened this week. I mean, there's the Brett thing at the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like everybody's talked about that.
Yeah. Some asshole did a thing.
Got punched in the face by Dash Wilder.
Yep.
I have immense respect for Dash Wilder now. Mm-hmm. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I did that because I thought we were like almost towards the end, but holy shit. I don't think there's anything more wrestling related that I can think of.
No. Double or Nothing still coming.
Yeah.
Brian Pillman Jr. is going to be in the their battle royal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is kind of cool because he looks and acts a lot like Brian Pillman.
Good.
It's gonna be awesome. I think he's gonna be a big star.
I hope so. That'd be cool.
I'm trying to think what else. Is there any other fallout? Oh, shit.
No, it's actually for post-Mania week. It's been pretty quiet, other than all the stuff we already touched
like
on.
I look on Instagram and every fucking female star is like in the Caribbean right now.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if that's like
especially if they're having like family emergencies.
I'll go back to that. But.
Yeah, family emergency that I have to hang out with a bunch of masked luchadors near a waterfall. Fuck you.
All right. Here's where I get a little blue. No. Have you seen Sasha Banks' husband?
It looks like a kid.
I was gonna say, Sasha's very like physically friendly with Kalisto a lot of the time. I wonder if the husband is a little cuckish. Like, because I look at her and I'm like, there's no fucking way you're not getting cheated on.
Maybe.
I don't know. Hey, whatever. But
I've seen gorgeous women with some fugly ass dudes. While I'm over here like, well, fuck. But you never know. People have their tastes. So hey, if she goes for the nerdy,
seamstress cock.
he's
he's the seamstress.
Oh yeah, that's right, he is. Maybe it's like, what do they call that in politics? Like that's her beard.
No.
It's just a cover. No, because that would make her a lesbian. That doesn't make sense. Forget what I just said. It's the hot chips talking. Or he or she is his beard. That's what I meant to say.
That's solid, though.
That's a solid beard.
It's like, I mean, that should be your game plan then. You go out there and find a hot chick and be like, hey.
Can you pretend to be my wife?
Yeah.
Maybe they are together, but attitude aside, lucky son of a bitch. Well, hey.
All right. Well, if you're all set, I think I'm all set to wrap this up.
I think we're all set.
Yeah, we did a good 46 minutes or so. Cool. All right. Well, then I'm Jason Smith.
I am the other dude at the end of the table, Sean.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.